give a nice hot welcome to Mortified Band.
Nobody on the road, nobody on the beach. I feel it in the air, the summer's out of reach. Empty lake, empty street, the sun goes down alone. I'm driving by your house, though I know you're not home. I can feel you, the brown skin shining in the sun. You got your hair pulled back, sunglasses on, baby, and I can tell you my love for you will still be strong after the boys of summer have gone.
Could I please get bass and guitar in the monitors? Thank you very much.
I never will forget those nights. I wonder if it was a dream. Remember how you made me crazy. Remember how I made you scream. I don't understand what happened to our love. One day I'm gonna get you back. I'm gonna show you what I'm made of. I can see you, your brown skin shining in the sun. You got my top rolled down and the radio on, baby, and I can tell you my love for you will still be strong after the boys of summer have gone. Out on the road today, I saw a white striped sticker on a Cadillac. A little voice inside my head saying, don't look back, you can never look back. I thought I knew what love was, but did I know? Those days are gone forever, I should just let them go. But I can feel you, your brown skin shining in the sun. You got the top rolled down and the radio on, baby, and I can tell you my love for you will still be strong after the boys of summer have gone. And I can feel you, your brown skin shining in the sun. You got your hair pulled back and the wayfarers on, baby, and I can tell you my love for you will still be strong after the boys of summer have gone. Thank you.
Thanks so much, everybody. Welcome to Mortified. We're here to warm you up and get you ready for these 5 warm folks that are about to take the stage. I don't usually introduce each song, but this is a WBEZ crowd, so I want to give a little Chicago history lesson for this one. You guys ready for this? So this next song you're about to hear was written by Chicago bluesman John Brim and recorded for Chess Records. Okay, some of you already know. Do you know what this is? You guys are good.
Smart crowd.
Recorded for Chess Records in 1953, but not released until 1968. But it found its second life, maybe its like most notable life. It's certainly its famousest life as a cover on the debut album for an iconic heavy metal band. And with the royalties from that record, John Brim opened up a jazz nightclub called House of the Blues at 3714 North Broadway in the early 80s, which is awesome. And that it kind of brought him like the financial success he'd always been looking for in his own career. So there are two key lessons from this little story. One is that Chicago has an incredible music history within it, right? And two is that heavy metal fucking rules.
Dedicate one to the ladies. Summertime's here, baby, need something to keep you cool. Oh, now summertime's here, baby, need something to keep you cool. Better look out now, 'cause Jim's got something for you. Tell you what it is. I'm your ice cream man, stop me when I'm passing by. Oh my, I'm your ice cream man, baby, stop me when I'm passing by. All my flavors are guaranteed to satisfy. Hold on, baby. I got 1 pound banana Dixie cups. All flavors and push-ups too. I'm your ice cream man. Stop me when I'm passing by. See now, all my flavors are guaranteed to satisfy. Hold on, one more. Well, I'm usually passing by just around 11 o'clock. Never stop, I'm usually passing by just around 11 o'clock. And if you let me cool you one time, you'll be my regular stop. All right, boys. I got a 1 pound banana Dixie cups. All flavors and push-ups too. I'm your ice cream man. Stop me when I'm passing by. See now, all my flavors are guaranteed to satisfy. I'm your ice cream man. Stop me when I'm passing by. I'm your ice cream man. Stop me when I'm passing by. I'm your ice cream man. I'm your ice cream man. No, all my flavors are guaranteed to satisfy.
Oh my God. What a pleasure to play with Jim and all these guys. Van Halen, of course, Ice Cream Man. Van Halen won one of the great debut records of all time. Good Lord. All right, I'm going to introduce one more song because in 2 weeks, you guys may not know this, but in about 2 weeks, we are celebrating two important 40th anniversaries. So about 2 weeks from now marks the release of Bruce Springsteen's seminal record. Come on now. We going to work? Hold on. Born in the USA. Ow! And 2 days, 40 years of that. 2 days after that came out, I was born in the USA. So, because I insist on being a little brat who's going to take a whole month to celebrate my 40th birthday, that's right. In college, I always made fun of those people. It's my birthday week. Now I'm like, yeah, it's my birthday month. Deal with it. I'm going to make these guys play a song by my all-time favorite artist. So I thought this was appropriate for Mortified. This is a piece. Yo?
Be glad you're alive.
Fuck, that's so true, though. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, the boss. This is from Born in the USA. This is a song called Glory Days. Sing along. I had a friend, was a big baseball player back in high school. He could throw that speedball by you, make you look like a fool, boy. Saw him the other night at this roadside bar. I was walking in, he was walking out. We went back inside, sat down, had a few drinks, but all we kept talking about glory days. Well, they'll pass you by, glory days. In the wing of a young girl's eye, glory days, glory days. Now there's a girl who lives up the block. Back in school, she could turn all the boys' heads. Sometimes on a Friday, I'd stop by and have a few drinks with her after she put her kids to bed. Now, her and her husband Bobby, they split up. I guess it's 2 or 3 years gone by now. We just sit around talking about the old times. She says when she feels like crying, she starts laughing, thinking about glory days. Well, they'll pass you by, glory days. In the wing of a young girl's eye, glory days, glory days. Woo! Think I'm going down to the well tonight. I'm gonna drink until I get my fill. I hope when we get old we don't sit around telling stories about it, but we probably will. Just sitting back, trying to recapture a little of the glory of. But time slips away and leaves you with nothing, mister, but boring stories of glory days. Well, they'll pass you by, glory days. In the wing of a young girl's eye, glory days, glory days. Well, they'll pass you by, glory days. In the wing of a young girl's eye, glory days, glory days. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Come on now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come on down now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How you guys doing out there?
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
We can't hear you.
Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo.
We're 40. Can't hear you.
You can't hear us? Keep on rocking now. Thank you all. Thank you. We'll be here all night, but we're not why you're here. You are here to see a little show called Mortified. Now, has anyone here been to a Mortified show before? Oh my gosh. Is anyone fresh to Mortified? That was like a 50-50 split. I can't tell. It's pretty
I
good.
don't know. You should do it again.
Okay.
Anyone been here before? Is anyone here for the first time tonight?
Wow. I feel like you've coached them into doing that, but that's cool. So what is this show? Asha kind of set it up in the top. This is a show about shame, specifically about the... All right, you guys are ready for it. You already get it. Specifically about the shame of adolescence, right? We were all, as the kids like to say today, super cringe growing up. And what you're going to see in the next hour 15 or so is 5 people who have gotten over their fear of that and are going to show you exactly how cringy they were in their teenage years. They're going to share true artifacts that they created, whether it's journals, diaries, songs, poems, YouTube videos, from their most horrifying adolescent years, and we're all going to feel this like schadenfreude of shame with them and help them expunge it from their body and throw it out onto Michigan Avenue and give it to the bean. That's what's going to happen tonight. And just so we're all on the same page, I just want to point out, in case you haven't noticed, I have this little patch in my beard here, and that is because when I was shaving, the guard, I was trimming my beard and the guard slipped off just enough to cut this patch here. And I'm going to tell you all that I did that in solidarity with the people on our stage tonight. Now, whether you believe that or not, I'll let you make that call. But yeah, we're all here for shame. This show does have a summer vacation theme. We're going to hear a lot about school. We're going to hear about getting out of school. We're going to hear a lot about being tired of school. We're also just going to hear about cool stuff people did on their break. So thank you all for being here. We hope you have a great show. And at this point, I would like to have everybody put their hands together for these 5 people who are about to get mortified.
For this band. Oh boy. Hi everybody, my name is Law Torello. I grew up in the late 1900s in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. A small, predominantly Italian immigrant neighborhood infamous for its mafia activity and mob mentality violence. Glorified by Hollywood in films like Vigilante, The Warriors, and Out for Justice, where Steven Seagal is Gino Felino, a veteran police detective who sets out to avenge his partner's murder by killing a trigger-happy, drug-addicted mafioso madman. And of course, Saturday Night Fever, where John Travolta is Tony Manero. Anxious about his future after high school, this 19-year-old tries to escape the harsh reality of his bleak life by dominating the dance floor at the local disco. Like those role models, most Italian-American boys are either tough or feign some sort of tough guy attitude. But me, I was sensitive and aware at a very young age that the world was a big place, full of problems, more significant than my own. Perhaps to ignore my worries, I seem to worry more about everything else. And what better place to express my concerns than in my homework assignments? Assignment number 1, March 1984, 8 years old. Write a response to one of the articles we read last week in the Current Events. To whom it may concern. Last week, I read a news story that Ringling Brothers Circus turned a goat into a unicorn. I think that's one of the meanest things you could do to a goat. Now his family won't recognize him and other goats will think he's weird. It was not nice to do this to him. How would you like it if I took your nose and put it in the middle of your forehead so people would pay money to look at you and point at you and laugh at you? You wouldn't like it, so put the goat back to a goat. Thank you. Teacher's note, very good work. Please have your mother set up a parent-teacher conference. After tackling animal rights and becoming the first Italian-American vegetarian in my elementary school, I would soon turn my attention to even bigger issues. In retaliation for the bombing of a West Berlin nightclub by Libyan agents on April 5th that killed 3 people, including a US serviceman, President Ronald Reagan ordered an aerial campaign attack on April 14th. Beginning at 2 a.m. Libyan time and lasting only 12 minutes, over 60 tons of munitions were dropped, striking military, diplomatic, and civilian sites. Assignment number 2. April 1986, 10 years old. Write about something you hate and something you love. I hate President Reagan. My mom says you should not say that you hate something because that means you wish death upon it. I don't think it was right to bomb Libya. Muammar Gaddafi is a bad guy, but innocent women and children died when bombs hit their houses. President Reagan did this, and I hate him for it. I love my grandpa Sal because he takes me and my cousins Michael and Matthew to the movies and buys us pizza and takes out his teeth to scare us. Teacher's note. Follow directions more carefully. The assignment was to write about something you hate and love, not someone. Please have your mother set up a parent-teacher conference. A couple years later, my mother moved us from Brooklyn to a very rural town in upstate New York. I lost track of my friends, I lost my personal identity, but most notably, over time, I lost my accent, my regional dialect. But I never lost my strong opinions or refusal to back down. My teen angst turned into activism, and again, the only place I felt the need to express my disappointment with the system was during school hours. The following is a letter I wrote to my English teacher, who also happened to be my homeroom teacher, which is a permanent room assignment. January 1991, 14 years old. Dear Ms. Truman, I am writing you this letter in response to your recommending me for a week of in-school suspension. I don't understand. I explained that I only refused to stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance while we were at war, and that I didn't know it was against school policy. So I apologized, but you sent me to Mr. Orcutt's office. He said the rule was, as long as I stood up, I don't have to say the actual pledge. You didn't even give me that as an option. You just sent me off to the principal's office like some sort of criminal. I thought you were one of the only people who understood me, and I know we're not peers, and I do respect you as my teacher. But when you helped me for my audition for Our Town, I felt like we connected. Every time you ask the class to read Julius Caesar and no one volunteers, who always does it? Me! And when you told me you were curious about rap music, I lent you my only copy of License to Ill. Even though it was one of my favorite tapes, which, BTW, you have yet to return to me. And when you gave me that copy of Leaves of Grass before Christmas, I don't know, I just thought we were cool. But now I can see that we're not cool. You are not cool. Is this because your last name is Truman? Are you like secretly related to Harry S. Truman or something, and now you're taking out your inherited misplaced patriotism on me? In conclusion, Miss Truman, I don't want to be suspended. Therefore, I will stand up, but I won't say the pledge until the war is over. And in the words of Walt Whitman, I will make a song for the ears of the president, full of weapons with menacing points, and behind the weapons, countless dissatisfied faces. Well, Ms. Truman, you'll have to see my dissatisfied face for 3.5 more years. Sincerely, Law Torello. P.S. Seriously, give me my Beastie Boys tape back. It would be 19 years later when I was first diagnosed bipolar 1. Surprise! All those big emotions and mood swings from my childhood finally made some sense. Hey, but listen, if there's any educators here that are having some pre-summer difficulty with a few troublemaking dissident voices in their classroom, I implore you to listen more closely, because like Walt Whitman, they may be just trying desperately to share their message of radical egalitarianism and expression of compassion for all. Thanks.
A fight for your right to party!
Yes. Hi, my name is Erin Allen. Hi. So right now, I'm 37, but this right here is 18-year-old
Aaron Allen, and yes, that's the Holy Bible. 18-year-old Aaron Allen is deeply Christian, deeply righteous, and all she ever wanted to do was be good. She one day came across this one scripture, Deuteronomy. I just love saying that word, Deuteronomy 14:2. You have been set apart as holy to the Lord your God, and he has chosen you from all the nations of the earth to be his own special treasure. And from then on, that set apart piece, that became my mantra. To be so righteous that I was set apart from the rest. People blame Instagram for making us think we're all special unicorns, but I blame the Holy Bible. Now, I wasn't Christian in the Baptist Pentecostal way, like saved, sanctified, speaking in tongues. I was more conservative. I grew up in the African Methodist Episcopal Church. Any AMEs in here? No? All right, that's right. I'm the only one. Okay. African Methodist Episcopal tradition. So I was more of a uniform, dignified Methodist Christian. I dabbled in choir. I did a lot of liturgical dance, but I was also very interested in being an usher at church, maintaining order and method. Matter of fact, by age 12, I was up on the pulpit a couple Sundays every month delivering the church announcements to the entire congregation. By age 16, I was a youth leader at the church, doing fundraising for youth programming, producing that programming, leading youth Bible study. Does it surprise y'all that I host a podcast right now? I was literally named, that's a prep right there for one of the messages that I delivered during Bible study. I was named Youth of the Year, literally. This is a plaque. This is from my church. So yeah, I was that girl in high school. I was sheltered. I was a little self-righteous. I was aggressively abstinent. And that went for drugs, alcohol, and sex. I was such a virgin that my email address in high school was, I kid you not, access denied at AOL.com. Now, all my youth group girlies, y'all know we preached all that shit, but we were horny AF, just like every teenager in the history of teenagers. So, looking back at my journals from that time, I was having this hostile, but yet very poetic war with myself. I was a little artist. And, it was always Jesus or penis or Jesus. So I literally wrote poems about it. Here's one. Man, why can't you understand that I'm not your average girl? I mean, yeah, you rock my world. And yeah, you make my toes curl. But I refuse to become but a statistic in this confused and brainwashed world. Man, you'll never understand. Because you're just a man. And you've got the wrong idea. Because Dana, Joy, Andrea, and Lisa, these are just names that rhyme, and Lisa, they meant nothing. But me, I'm saving something. And me, I'm giving up nothing till I hear you say one thing. And that one thing, can you guess? And that one thing is I do. Then and only then I will too. And then you'll understand, because then you'll have my hand. But right now, you're just a man. And you think I'm just a girl, but me, I'm set apart from this confused and brainwashed world. Woo. So y'all, I performed that at the school talent show in front of the entire school, and this was a public evening event, so there were parents there was family members there. It was at the time, my greatest accomplishment, but right now it's very cringy. Okay, so by senior year, I was still preaching abstinence. Meanwhile, I was hanging around a bunch of heathens. At one point, my bestie, Stephanie, was dating a literal grown-ass stripper. Yes, by that point, it was senior year. Okay, yes, hey, to all the sex workers in the room, yes. We were 18, both of us, by the time she was dating. That's me and Stephanie. By the time she was dating that stripper, but we were still in high school. So every summer in high school, Stephanie used to come over my house because all the fine-ass boys lived in my neighborhood, let's be serious. And we would walk around the neighborhood, seeing them, being seen by them. And now, my tastes at this point have drastically changed, but at that time, it was the tall, strapping, very masculine athletes for me. And there was Kofi, there was Hugh, there was Antonio, and there was this one that everybody had a crush on. For purposes of not revealing his identity, we're gonna call him Tony. And we were all technically friends with these dudes. So we used to walk around the neighborhood with them together. We used to kick it in their backyards. We used to visit together. And one of these summer nights, summer break in July, it was hot, the air was thick, the sun was going down, and the fireflies were fireflying. The golden hour was giving, as it does, and I don't know if it was a full moon that night, but it was giving full moon energy for sure. So I got home, and after, walking around the neighborhood with these fine-ass athlete boys, and I put on Full Moon by Brandy, and I leaned in to my pent-up ass hormones. I sat down and I wrote another poem. Oh, God, okay. Oh, Lordy. Yeah. It sounds like y'all are ready. I'm not ready. Okay, this one is called If. If I could just look into his eyes long enough to see deep into his mind and discover even an inkling of a feeling mutual with mine. If I had a nickel for every bone in my body he's shaken. If I had a dime for every stable feeling he's unknowingly taken. I'd be more rich than the chocolate that his skin imitates, yet not satisfied, because it is that very chocolate that I will never taste. If I could just kiss his voluptuous lips. Okay. And clench his back while he caressed my hips. Then all my fantasies of skinny dips would be as real as the feeling in my fingertips. During every playful tap, every word he speaks, every nonchalant glance makes me feel weak, makes my soul shake, makes my mind ache, because the more mystery and enchantment he gives, the more my desire and curiosity lives. The more I yearn for his unattainable love, the more life gives me an unpleasant but essential shove. Back to reality. He and I could never be. It's impossible for his true love to ever define me, because I'll never tell. We've been friends too long and known each other too well. So eternally I will dwell in my own lonely hell. Never to seek his delight, and if I might, it would be only when I could just look into his eyes long enough to see deep into his mind and discover even an inkling of a feeling mutual with mine.
Yeah.
As you can see, it was very intense, very deep. At one point, I was hanging out at Tony's house, and when I went inside his house to use the bathroom, I saw a Polaroid of him sitting on the kitchen table, and he was half naked in the bed. a teenager. Of course, I stole it and showed it to Stephanie later. And of course, Stephanie wanted it for herself, even though she was already dating a stripper. And of course, I used that fact as leverage to keep it for myself. That's Tony. I mean, how can you resist that? He is over 18 in this picture, so if you're feeling like it's irresistible, don't feel bad for that. So I kept this picture for myself, obviously, and I ended up tucking it away in a photo album with some other high school photos and forgetting about it after a while, until I unwittingly brought that same album out and put it on the table for display at my graduation party, where not only everybody from church was present, but also Kofi Hugh and Tony himself. Now, that graduation party, I've thought about that ever since I was 18. The good girl, Christian girl, youth of the year, stole a half-naked picture of a boy and then paraded it in front of the whole church and said boy. But recently, in preparation for this story, I ended up calling around to a few people who were at the graduation party, including Kofi, who's the only person I'm really still in touch with at this point. And he reminded me that a person would have had to sit down for a few minutes, happen to choose this one photo album out of the 3 that were out on the tables at the party, and then look through all the photos until they got to that one. Not only did Kofi not remember no photos, he also didn't even remember coming to my graduation party at all. And you know, when he told me that, it was actually the best reminder that nothing is as fucking serious as you think it is in high school. Not your virginity, not your email address, not your wildly ambivalent poetry, none of it. I mean, at this point, I'm a queer, Buddhist-leaning agnostic with 6 piercings in her head. So, to all the teenagers out there, take a deep breath. It's gonna be okay. Stay horny, and don't be stealing. Thank you.
Like a virgin, touched for the very first time, like a virgin, let your heart beat next to mine.
Hi, I'm Dana. That is me. I was as seen as my mom allowed me to be in high school. So, my name's Dana, and I live with my husband and our corgi outside of Detroit, Michigan. I will be reading parts of a notebook that me and my best friend at the time, Alex, shared during our sophomore year of high school in 2010. Alex and I passed the notebook back and forth the whole school year, filling up each page with all of our thoughts, events, and gossip from the day. One thing you should know about Alex and I is we talked a very big game, as you're gonna hear, but we were very sheltered kids. This notebook was sacred to us. It was a space for us to say what we felt, unfiltered, and that's what best friends are for. So Alex wasn't able to come to Chicago for this, but she gave me her blessing to read this to all of you. And Brianne from the Mortified team is gonna be playing the part of Alex.
Is it on? Oh, perfect.
All right, here we go.
September 27th, 2010. Dana, let this begin. The first note of the year and the first note of our new notebook. Just for future reference, when we look back into this notebook, we are beginning our sophomore year and we are still biffies. We still love writing notes and drawing snails. We should start adding dates to our notes. It'll help when we're reading this like 6 years from now. Heart Alex.
So, spoiler alert, we never added the dates. Alex. There's a kid who just moved into my English class. We eye fucked. Kyle's locker is right by Dan's. I creeped. He is so cute. I love him. God, I am such an eye whore. So here's the wish list I'm sending to Santa this year. I want a nose piercing, I want bigger boobs, and I want a smaller waist. P.S. Why are all the awesome guys on Omegle but not in Michigan?
Dana. My Spanish quiz was easy. Mrs. L is a bitch and needs a bra. I love how stupid we are, giving our addresses to a couple guys from Canada on Omegle. P.S. If anyone ever finds and read this notebook, we're screwed.
So, by the way, I completely understand the irony in that last line. So thankfully for us, this notebook stayed private until now, and it's a good thing because we really did not hold back in our teenage rage. And as you'd expect with teenagers, we were obsessed with who was doing what and with who they were doing it with. So everything we learned about our peers was fodder for the notebook, and despite our own boy craziness and hormones, we had thoughts about who was actually sealing the deal. So was it projection that we didn't have boys who wanted to kiss us? Absolutely, yes. Alex. Nishad was texting me. He kept hinting about homecoming, and if he thinks that I'm gonna ask him, then he is on crack. Also, you know Rebecca? She's such a tease. Like, she wonders why guys keep asking her for blowjobs. Or in Pete's world, asking to suck me up. P.S. I really want nose surgery. I hate my nose.
Dana. Yeah, Rebecca needs to stop, really. She came up to me and said, quote, so far this school year, I've racked up 6 new kisses. Go me. Really? Now she can add those to the 17 other pointless people she's kissed. Wow, I didn't realize how angry that makes me. Can't wait until she realizes they don't really like her. My vent is over. P.S. Brian is coming over tonight. Can't wait to reject the shit out of him. Ouch.
So out of all of our classmates, there was one person who got the most airtime in the journal, and that was our old friend Caitlin and her new best friend Ava. So over the summer, Caitlin had started dating a much older boy who's in college, and she became way too cool to associate with the rest of us. So she started hanging out with Ava instead of us. Things escalated very quickly from there, as all teenage girl drama does, and we got in a huge fight about it, huge. But rather than acknowledge that what I now know is hurt feelings over the friendship falling apart, I chose the obviously better option, which was to talk shit with Alex. Alex, here's what I want to mail to Post Secret about Caitlin. You think all I do is talk shit, but I think the new you is shit. I know I shouldn't have an input on this because me and Caitlin are not friends anymore, but next time they hang out, I know John is gonna ask her for sex, and she'll say no, and then he'll say he's losing interest in her, so she'll do it. The whole situation is so stupid. All of my sister's friends agree that he's nice, but fucked up. I just want the old Caitlin back. Well, gotta go to work.
What are we looking at here?
We are looking at the old Caitlin who was happy and she read and she had a whole heart. And then the new Caitlin who was too drunk to think. She smoked weed, she drank beer, she's holding a condom and has a broken heart.
I never saw the condom. This is new to me.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go do work now. Love you. P.S. I just mind fucked a kid in English.
Woo. Dana, fuck Caitlin. She's gonna realize she was extremely stupid and that John isn't the right guy for her and that we were her best friends and we cared about her. And honestly, I'll think she'll come back and realize it's too late and we will not forgive her that easily. Also, this Friday's football game is toga themed. My dad will drive one way if your parents drive the other way. But I gotta go now. Hasta luego.
And Alex was right. We did not forgive easily at all. So especially because Ava's new best friend, or Caitlin's new best friend Ava and I were suddenly sat next to each other in class one day. So as all of this drama was going down, I tried talking to Ava about how sad I was over my friendship with Caitlin falling apart and she wouldn't hang out with us. But as soon as the bell rang to dismiss us from class, I received a text from none other than Caitlin yelling at me for talking about her to other people. I couldn't wait to tell Alex. Oh, right. Alex. So, Ava's a bitch. I now understand why people hate her. She just bugs me, and I am not the awkward one. Caitlin still believes Ava over me, even though I tried explaining myself. And then Ava had the nerve to try to joke around with me in class today, and I'm like, H-E double hockey sticks, no. Do you want to hear a joke? Hey, did you see Ava at the football game? No. Did you? No. She wasn't there because she was too busy getting drunk with our ex-best friend. Ha, ha, ha. Bye. P.S. The group is getting together later to watch Human Centipede. I'm scared. This is my beautiful rendition of Alex in the Human Centipede.
Nice. Dana. Yes, she is a bitch. Glad you're finally coming to your senses. Now it's Caitlin's turn. JK, that won't happen because she's dumb. Hee hee, love you, bye.
Alex, in class, I felt like I was gonna throw up. Also, Caitlin just texted me, wanna get over it now? I'm sick of drama. P.S. We need to carve pumpkins.
Dana. Caitlin plus Ava equals bitchy duo of the century. They used to be sorta okay, but now they've totally changed each other, and it's fucking sick how little they care about their best friends. But whatever, fuck high school and what it does to people. All that matters is us good people. P.S. I have no idea what I'm carving on my pumpkin.
Alex, you are so right, and I agree with everything you said. We are the good people, and we matter. Fuck them. So were we really right? No, probably not. And were we delusional? Absolutely yes. But we were also just 15-year-olds, and we were doing our best to try to survive because being a teenage girl is very devastating. But at this point, I had pretty much accepted that Caitlin was never going to be friends with us again until one day she sent me a text asking to get together in person because she had some things she wanted to tell me. And this meant one last urgent update in the notebook for Alex. Alex, John broke up with Caitlin. She sent me a very long text saying she now realizes that we were there for her all the time, and now we're not. Yada, yada, yada. We talked things out. It's gonna take a while to not be awkward, but at least we're friends again. P.S. Did you hear that people wanted to nuke the BP oil spill? Idiots. I'm a really big fan of the hair mats. I think it should be a law that everyone has to shave their hair and donate it to BP. I just feel really bad for all the turtles. So we filled up the notebook over this year, and then Alex and I stayed best friends throughout high school, but we fell out of touch when I went away to college. Fire up chips. Hey. We reconnected after college, and we see each other a couple times a year. She's doing great. She's loving life. As for Caitlin, she is finishing up her doctorate out of state. She's an activist, and she started an annual festival in Detroit that is still well attended. Truly wish her the best in all of her endeavors. As for Ava, she sells feet pictures online and makes more than all of us combined. I also wish her well. And I'm doing pretty all right, too. So thank you very much.
Baby, you're fine. tune of this. It's Firework by Katy Perry. Do you know it? Sing it.
Shoot across the sky.
Hi, everybody. My name's Karen Kurbis, and this is my teenage scrapbook. That's right. One of my best friends gave me this scrapbook for Christmas in 1974. I was 16 years old. And here's what I wrote immediately on the inside cover. Karen Kurbis. This is the scrapbook that I started on December 26, 1974. V gave it to me for Christmas. I have changed because now I want to get married and have kids right now. I have also started a poem book. My New Year's resolution is to grow my nails. I hope I do. I guess I wrote my name on the inside of the cover of the scrapbook in case I lost it. And someone found it who also wanted to get married and have kids right now with a well-manicured poetess. So a scrapbook is a place for mementos, right? But I didn't have many of those, and that's because I didn't have a boyfriend in high school. And if you were a teenage girl at an all-girls high school in the 70s without a boyfriend, you were definitely tier 2. One of my classmates, and this is an absolutely true story, one of my classmates even hooked up with the guy who came to fill the pop machine every week. That was her boyfriend, the guy who came to fill the pop machine, because that's just how important it was to have a boyfriend. And so if you were a 16-year-old girl without a boyfriend, then what are you putting in your scrapbook? What are your mementos? There's no prom souvenirs, no homecoming trinkets, no Valentine's Day cards. There's nothing. So when I got this scrapbook, I had decided that to become the kind of girl that had a boyfriend, I had to become the kind of girl that keeps a scrapbook. But here was the catch. What was I going to fill the scrapbook with until I had a boyfriend and the boyfriend trinkets? Did I have enough stuff to say, I was here and here's what happened? Clearly, I did not, because one of the first things I added to the scrapbook was my instruction card from my driver's ed class. And here's what I had to say about it. This is from Range, from driver's ed. I got a D in that class, but it was fun anyway. Fun for whom, I am not sure. The teacher did not seem to be enjoying himself. Now, there's a lottery ticket. And here's what I had to say about that. This is the first lottery ticket I ever bought. I only had one matching number. I don't think I'll ever win. The lowest, perhaps, the bus pass. A bus pass in my scrapbook. My thoughts about the bus pass? I'm depressed right now looking at it. It never looked that big before. This is what I wrote. A Westtown bus pass from sophomore year. It cost $1. I never used it once. And then, sadly, a tribute to lost love. 2 Jack in the Box logos from an empty cup of hot chocolate, taped to the page with care and precision. Here is the dedication in my scrapbook. These are from a cup of hot chocolate. I cut them off the cup. This was when I liked Paul Antonelli. Paul worked at the Jack in the Box, but I'm pretty sure I bought the cup of hot chocolate. This scrapbook is the anti-scrapbook. My teenage life was where scrapbooks went to die. Now, it might seem sad that Paul Antonelli didn't like me back, or that I was a terrible driver, but it wasn't sad and it didn't stop me, and I had a blast in high school thanks to a little-known loophole in my parents' extremely strict approach to raising me. The Greek conventions of 1973, 74, and 75. And I finally had something for my scrapbook. The Greek conventions took place over summer weekends. The Greek parents reserved the hotel rooms, but they didn't come. It was just hundreds of unchaperoned teenagers taking over extremely mediocre hotels. The Greek conventions were like Lord of the Flies meets Where the Boys Are. Now, I'm not Greek. Very. Yay me. Very few of us were Greek. There was nothing Greek about it. Now, my friend Stacy Gavaris was Greek, and her mother reserved our room and warned us to be respectful to the Greek priests. That was easy because we never saw any priests. Here, next, is my first souvenir from the Greek convention, a 50-year-old bar of hotel soap from the old O'Hare Inn Hotel on Mannheim Road. It's still in this book. It was my beloved souvenir from the first Greek convention in 1973. I was 15 years old. It was my first time in a hotel, and quite frankly, I'm just grateful I didn't include the sanitary sash that goes over the toilet because I had never seen one of those before. Now, I wrote pages and pages on the happenings at the Greek convention, and here's just some of it. This was the best convention. We had a beautiful room with a balcony. Me, Stacy, Dana, and Sherry went, and Debbie came the second night. We had 4 real nice guys in the room next to us: Tom, Chris, John, and Van. Van was real funny. He was like a little mouse. Tom and John were real cute, and Chris was all right and nice. We still see them around sometimes. The first night was Greek night, and we had to wear long dresses. Frank C. and Richie L. came up that night, and Richie liked Sherry, and Sherry liked anybody. Sorry. She embarrassed us a whole bunch by some things that she did, and nobody liked her after that. All day Saturday, we stayed at the pool. Frank bought us donuts Saturday morning. Friday night, we had a big pillow fight in our room with the guys from next door. But then the guys from security came and told us to shut up after we had already broken the lamp. Now, Saturday morning, we just got to sleep, and then Animal, George P., broke our balcony door lock. It was funny. Nobody wanted to sleep in the same bed with Sherry, so he did. But then Sherry jumped out. So many more funny things happened, but now I can't write them all down. But it was the funnest time I ever had. We returned to the Greek convention the next year, in July of 1974. That year, the extravaganza was held at the Holiday Inn South in Joliet. Before we went to the convention on Friday night, we went to a Doobie Brothers concert at the International Amphitheater. And then somehow we got to Joliet from the International Amphitheater. The precious memento that made it into my scrapbook that year was from a note from the front desk clerk that she handed me when we checked in sometime after midnight. The note said, "Please call home." I'll never forget the anxious expression on the clerk's face as she handed me that note. I'm pretty sure my mom had freaked her out. And that's because I'm pretty sure my mom was freaking out, because I'm almost certain that I forgot to tell my mom when I left at 3:30 that afternoon for Joliet that we were stopping at the International Amphitheater to see the Doobie Brothers first. Here are some of my takes on that second Greek convention. It was not as much fun as the first convention, but it was still fun. Yak, Frankie, Ed, Jack, and Julian stayed in our room a lot, especially to play cards. Yak was a big help, and he was real nice, and he gave Janine his car Saturday night. I should point out that Janine was 15 years old. But since her parents owned a car dealership, I guess Yak trusted her to take his car and drive around Joliet with us. Back to the scrapbook. Yak took us to a real lot of places, and then him, Frankie, and Julian helped pay our room bill. We didn't like Ed after he threw up all over Janine's white jacket. Saturday night, 1 million of the guys came, and Frank C. got arrested, and it was a long time before somebody bailed him out. Just a few months later, after this, I was lucky enough to go on a school trip with the Italian club to Italy. I had very little to say about this trip in my scrapbook, perhaps because it was chaperoned by a teacher and a couple of nuns. All I attached to the scrapbook was a ticket receipt and a baggage check from TWA. It should have been a big deal, because it was a sacrifice for my parents to send me, and it was Italy. Here's all I had to say about the trip. This is my ticket and stuff like that from my Italy trip. It was a blast, and I'll always remember Umberto, the Topo Gigio salesman, Florence, Capri, Tony, and John. We went for Easter and we saw the Pope. I can never forget Jeffrey, our weirdo tour guide, or Franco, our bus driver. That's it for Italy. I have pages and pages of inanities about what went on at the Greek conventions, and almost nothing about that trip to Italy. The glories of Rome and Florence apparently paled in comparison to a parentless weekend at the Joliet Holiday Inn South, and driving around Joliet in Yak's car with a 15-year-old at the wheel. In the summer of 1975, going into my senior year in high school, I went to one last Greek convention. This one was at the Oak Lawn Hilton, which looked like a prison from the outside, and from the inside, too. Spending a wild weekend at a mediocre hotel with hundreds of other teenagers had somehow lost its allure, and I didn't write anything in my scrapbook about it. This scrapbook that was somehow going to play such an important role in my getting married and having kids is barely filled. And that's probably because I ran out of mementos and I forgot to have children. I never did get that high school boyfriend, but after I graduated, it just didn't seem as important. I graduated high school in '76, and by 1979, I spent the summer in London. I saw Led Zeppelin and The Who. I hung out with the punks on the King's Road. I dyed my hair purple. Yes, I was still doing mortifying things, but I was starting to find my way in the world, a world where I no longer measured my own value in boyfriends. Now, I don't know why I have hung on to this scrapbook for 50 years, but I know this. The same girl who kept this scrapbook would have never been brave enough to share it with the world tonight. And there's nothing mortifying about that. Woo! really fast, and it's this. I want to dedicate this show tonight to my dear old friend, Stacy Gavaris. Because Stacy, she died a few years ago. Next week would have been her birthday. But if it wasn't for Stacy taking me to the Greek conventions, I would have had nothing in this scrapbook. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ned, and I've been on the internet for a very, very long time. Specifically, I've been on YouTube for a very long time. And in 2014, I really, really wanted to be like the popular YouTubers I was watching. That was a time in my mind where YouTube was becoming a full-fledged career. People were getting brand deals. The most popular creators I was watching had hundreds of thousands of views. They were getting thousands of dollars. They had organized posting schedules. And I, on the other hand, was in high school. I had no money, and I had a camera that I got for Christmas. And I made a lot of videos. All of my editing was done in these early days through YouTube's free editing program, which is not good at all. Or if I needed a picture edited, I would go into Microsoft Paint. And yeah, thank you. Representation matters. I would go into Microsoft Paint, I would make myself a picture, and I even made myself a little intro card of a waffle because I liked waffles, and it was 2014. And my channel name was WWSJLM. Somewhere along the line, because I was making these pictures and edits on my family computer, I would delete them as I would go. I lost this file along the way, and instead of making a new one, I would kind of just explain through different pictures that I lost the waffle, instead of just making the new one. And I would do that again and again. To tell my audience that I had just merely lost the waffle. And you're probably wondering, Ned, 2014, that's so long ago. How can I start my YouTube channel? How can I build a beautiful audience? Well, back in the day, I did make a video called How to Get More Subscribers. So let's watch a little bit of my tips and tricks.
Are you excited? I'm not. I'm going to help you if you're starting your own YouTube channel. I'm going to help you learn the secret to getting more subscribers. Now, I'm the master of knowing the secret because I already have 11 subscribers. I know. I'm famous. Calm down. No autographs, please. So I have seven steps to help you get more subscribers. Okay. A, actually make an account. S, for socialize. Socialize with all your friends. If you have friends, I'm just assuming. If you have to, force them to watch your video. S, again, for say funny things. Now, if you want more subscribers, you have to be funny. If you're not funny, people aren't gonna like you.
So, if you've been following around, so far I've spelled ass. And let's see what part 2 brings us.
B, for be attractive. This may be hard, since not everybody is as attractive as me. I mean, I have a few picture examples to show you how attractive I am. Hand motions. U, for unify people. Now, what you have to do through your channel is, still, while being funny, you have to bring people together. You have to unite the nations. T, for talk. Use actual words that make sense. Here's an example of what not to say. Have face, you, nice, go, Twix. And now here's the example of what to say. Hi, number 7, T. Again, for tie. Cow tie. If you don't have a cow tie, you're basically screwed. Cow ties get all of the subscribers.
Thank you. And yes, I did keep that tie. I did just spell butt. So that's the complete ass butt experience. Now, I did get subscribers through my friends. My friends actually really enjoyed these videos. And I knew I had made my big break when somebody asked if they could feature me in our school newspaper, which I said yes, of course. This is the actual picture they used, and some of the following was written about my YouTube channel. Senior Ned is a comedic student beloved by half of the school. The other half, well, they don't know who he is. Yet, one of his more recent videos, titled Meeting Elsa and Anna and Other Disney Adventures, received an impressive 215 views. Seriously, how cool is it to know a YouTuber? Do him a favor and check out his channel at youtube.com/WWSJLM. So that was written, that was published in our high school newspaper. It was way bigger than I remembered when I was finding this picture. But yeah, although my friends really enjoyed these pictures, at home I was a closeted queer kid. I had pretty homophobic parents, so I did not want them to know I was making these videos. So I would often whisper a lot, even if it was the middle of the day, because I did not want anybody knowing I was making these. So I made a little small compilation of my best whisper sentences, if we want to take a gander.
You're redder than a jean vest. This would have made more sense if I was wearing a jean vest. Cookies are made by elves in a giant tree that doubles as a bakery, and they don't really get paid actual money, they get paid in cookies, and I'm just describing Keebler elves now, aren't I? So even though you can't see, I brought out the jean vest in celebration of my new bird. Gender swapped, confused, and out of their element, they must work together to survive a hostile new environment.
Like us right now. No. So I would often whisper, because I really didn't want people finding my channel or my family. So much so that I had so many different phases. I made so many YouTube videos from 2013 to 2021, probably around over 300, I'm not joking. But I had so many different channel names. I had Dr. Person, I had the Pigeon Wizard. I tried to do a board game channel that was Scrambled Paladins. I tried to do video games. I tried to do cooking videos. I tried to do all of YouTube. But the original channel was WWSJLM, and it was originally because it stood for Why Won't Somebody Just Love Me? It was, one, something I have never said out loud until now, and two, something you would never be able to guess based off of the content I was posting on this channel like this.
High fashion. High fashion. High fashion. High fashion. High fashion.
Yeah. And you know, this was my outlet for a really long time. I wanted a way to learn how to love myself, and this was my art. And I still really enjoy making videos and doing weird things on camera, but it's been a while since I've done that, and I really want to get back into it, but I feel like this old me is weighing me down. I feel like I need to put him to rest. So if you all would help me, I made us another small compilation of some of my best moments out of context. If we could watch them and say goodbye to old Ned. Thank you, everybody. Please like and subscribe.
Video killed the radio star. Video killed the radio star. In my mind and in my car, we can't rewind. We've gone too far. Ow, 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 ow.
Hey, everybody, that was Mortified. How about that? I'm going to say some stuff before we all go home, though. All right, it's going to be cool. Mortified is a podcast. Did you know that? You can check it out on your podcast app of choice. It comes out, I'm pretty sure, every Monday. You might hear some of these pieces on the podcast one day. Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, I agree. It would be super cool. You can learn more about Mortified at getmortified.com. And if you want to follow our show, which is Mortified Chicago, you can find us on Facebook, Mortified Shy, or Instagram at Mortified Chicago. We don't go on Twitter because, you know, you get it. Yeah, we all understand. Yeah, Twitter is awful now. Anyway, this could be you. The 5 people you see on stage were all people out there once, and they all submitted. So if you go to getmortified.com/participate, you can submit and maybe be on our stage. We're doing a Halloween show next, by the way. So if you have anything scary, any wild costumes, not racist, that doesn't fly. The show is produced by me, Eric Garneau, in association with WBEZ Chicago. Thank you so much to WBEZ. Thank you. Let's give it up for our story producers. We have Brianne Johnson, Allison Schoenfeld, Marnie Schur, and Mary Z. You saw Brianne, Mary and Allison up there. For the freaking band, we have Scott on drums, Katie on vocals and keys, Jim on guitar. So here's the thing. I want to do something a little out of the ordinary for just a second. So if you've seen our show before, you know that we have a usual musical director who's not here tonight, a gentleman by the name of Dwight. Now, the reason Dwight is not here is because 2 weeks ago, his partner and him welcomed their first child into the world. And so, yeah, it's really sweet. So we're videoing this, right? So here's the Facebook post about it. Look, it's got the world. It means it's okay to share. I'm not breaking any privacy of Dwight's by showing this. This is Dwight and Lauren's child. If everybody could just please maybe say happy birthday to Nesh is how you pronounce his name on the count of 3. I'd really like to get that on video. I think it would mean a lot to Dwight. So on 3, everybody please say happy birthday, Nesh, okay? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Nesh. That was really sweet, guys. Thank you. But truly a pleasure to perform with Jim, Dwight, and Katie. Just amazing.
Give it up for Mr. Eric Garneau.
Again, shout out to WBEZ and the Studebaker Theater. Wonderful venue, wonderful partners. This show has really leveled up since we started working with BEZ. It is greatly appreciated. So thank you to Eddie and all the folks at the station there. We love you. Our next show, I said it's going to be a Halloween show. We haven't announced the date yet, so hang tight for that. Okay, last bit of the show. You all ready? All right. It is time to talk about what have we learned. So, from law, we learned that turning a goat into a unicorn is one of the meanest things you can do to a goat. And also that teachers should listen closely to their students. Law, come on out, my man. Look at that. You guys are a nice crowd. From Aaron, we learned that you should always stay horny and not steal. But it's okay to steal other people's hearts, though. Come on out, Aaron. From Dana, we learned fuck high school. All that matters is us good people. Come on out, Dana. We are the good people. From Karen, we learned that in high school, if you don't have a boyfriend, you are solidly tier 2. But that pop machine guy, that's the way into tier 1, baby. Come on out, Karen. from Ned, how could we forget? We learned that the cow tie gets you all the subscribers. Ned, bring on that tie. Come on out here. And most importantly, as we always say, we learned that we are all freaks, we're all fragile, and we all survive. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. Get home safe. We love you, Chicago.